Welcome to Producing Confidence, a Danos family of companies podcast. Whether it's breaking news from the field, insights on innovation, or behind-the-scenes stories, we're excited to keep you connected and informed. Tune in and join us as we continue producing confidence every step of the way.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Producing Confidence. I'm your host, Samantha McGee, and today we are talking about safety focus. So safety is a Danos value, and once a year, we bring that commitment into sharper focus through our annual Safety Focus event. This year's event takes place on Tuesday, March 3rd. Joining me today are two leaders who help turn that mindset into action every day. Issac Dantin, Danos Safety Director, and Troy Granier, Vice President of HSE at Performance Energy Services. Together, they bring years of field and operational experience and play key roles in shaping safety focus across our organization. It's a pleasure to have both of you joining us in the studio today. Thank you so much.
Hey, yeah, glad to be here.
Hi.
Glad to have you. So tell me about the Safety Focus event and why people should be excited about it.
We've been doing safety focus events for quite some time now. When I started with Danos back in the 90s, we had safety focus events, and they were put on, and I'm not going to say that we didn't do it in a great way, but I just remember it not being very interactive. So when I came on in safety, I wanted to make sure that it was creative and that it was engaging, but that people left with something of value. They put, as Mike Guidry likes to say, they put a gold nugget in their pocket and they left with something. So that's what excites me about it. It's an opportunity to come in front of our employees, to meet them face to face, but they also have an opportunity to see Mr. Hank and Paul, Eric, and Mark, and engage with managers across different division lines, and also their peers, that they might work on different platforms or wherever the case might be. But we also have a big group of customers. And so if you put everybody collectively together and you give them an opportunity to speak and us to listen, it's really good, it's refreshing, it's new, and it's evergreen as well. It's always growing.
So you put a lot of work into designing the event to be engaging, like you said, instead of feeling like a safety lecture where you're playing tic-tac-toe. Mm-hmm. Tell me more about the thought process that goes into all of that planning.
Well, we have a good team. Last year we joined up PES and DOS. Collectively, we decided we were going to put this on together. We pulled in our different divisions and leaders, and we had a really good session. We had breakout sessions with the employees. It was important for us to show that we're unified in safety, and that's one of the things I think that Danos is very good at. We're not only leading in safety within our community, but with our customers and even our competitors. So when we put on a safety focus forum, the value is really employee-driven, focused. An opportunity again to hear from them.
This is my third year attending, and each time you take something else away from it that you didn't think about before. And it's always been fun, even when I think about some of the activities that we've done as a team, building the pipeline and the little breaker, and you see people kind of getting excited about it. It's always fun, but there's always a message behind it that really, like you said, that nugget that you can take home. So it's exciting, and it's a good time to get people together. When you commit to something like this with the amount of energy that goes into it, where our supervisors, our field employees get to come and see exactly what we talk about every day, we're backing it up with this safety focus. So it's always a good time, and it's something that people can take a lot away from. So it's very exciting.
And you talk about messaging. I know each year we have a safety slogan with Danos. Do you want to tell me what that safety slogan is, where we got it?
Yeah, no, this year it's special because the last couple of years it was staff employees who submitted the winning safety slogans. This year we have a field employee who submitted a fantastic slogan. His name is Kylan Barton. He's a BP operator. He was awarded 500 gold points for sending in the winning safety slogan, which is purpose-driven people, safety-focused operations. I thought it was fantastic. We look for things that are key words within those slogans. First of all, purpose right off the bat. I mean, our Danos purpose is extremely important to us. So we're purpose-driven people, and he saw enough to say that our purpose is something that means a lot to him, which it means a lot to all of us. So purpose-driven people. and then safety-focused operations. I love how he used that, because safety-focused operations means that we're really, really dialing in to the things that matter when it comes to safety. And we're surrounding our whole theme around this focus idea, which is our safety focus. But this year, using his slogan, we have purchased binoculars for all of our employees that attend the safety focus, just kind of like a play on the words, but also making sure that some of our slides understand or portray the blurriness of what's out there and how we can really zoom in and see the end result of what needs to transpire. So the whole Safety Focus Forum will be wrapped around that initiative and safety slogan.
So you mentioned the focus theme that's taking place this year. How is this year's Safety Focus event different besides that, the focus theme?
Well, this year, actually it's always building upon the year before. We talk about the initiatives, the things that really matter right now. The way we're doing it this year is we have really 4 main sessions, where my session at the beginning is going to be about SIFs, thinking about serious injuries, fatalities, things that can really kill people. And then as soon as I finish, Mike Guidry is going to be speaking about the smaller things, the routine tasks, complacency, the small stuff. It might not kill you, but it still means that people are going home differently. They're changed. It might be a finger injury, which we've had issues with. Recently, we had a customer who unfortunately was one day away from 700 days without an OSHA recordable, and they had one finger injury that ruined that. Now, there's a lot that we can learn about the small things as well as the big things. And then Troy and Dirk will be tackling a couple different topics right after.
Yeah, we'll be focusing on Has ID. Part of both our teams and what we do at the work site, you have to identify what are the hazards that have that potential to kill you, right? And the goal of identifying those hazards is putting enough controls in place to where our crews can be safe and work and go home safely to their families, as we always talk about. But he talked about human performance in the past and how we build upon the safety at the job site and making sure that our employees truly understand what puts them at risk and what has the potential for them not to go home, and what are we doing about it, and is that enough or do we need more? So we talk about that a lot. We'll be talking about Has ID, start work checks, and then Dirk, who's our vice president of operations, he'll come out and he'll be talking about work planning and how can we really focus on getting people in our bucket and communicating and executing our work with safety at the forefront.
So how does the safety focus? How does safety focus empower employees to take ownership of safety and to take that into their own hands?
Safety focus just recommits to our employees what we talk about throughout the year, and that safety is the utmost importance. Everyone's personal safety, the crew's safety, as they're out there working, client safety, executing our projects and delivering on, those promises that we made when we started the work. So that recommitment there with employees, we're basically continuing to talk about all the things that we do every day and why it's important. And maybe they're taking home just a little bit something extra that they didn't know before, so they can bring it back to the job site. It's always great. Like I said before, you learn a little bit every time you sit in one of these safety focuses, and if there's any nuggets that they can take back to the work site, it really helps throughout the year. And then it also builds relationships. So when they see coworkers or they see us, and then we have to talk to them at a job site, well, it's something that we can talk about and relate to, and it just helps continue to build those relationships and then drive what's most important to us all, right? And that's our people, and that they get to go home safely at the end of the day back to their families.
Yeah, we have to give them an opportunity to be able to speak and for us to listen. So we try to be as interactive as we possibly can, not just putting up PowerPoints and killing them with just data, but really a bigger opportunity to listen. So when we ask a question, we want them engaged, we want them responding, and then once that first person responds, then other hands go up and then other people respond. And so we get good feedback from the guys, and we ask them, and we set the stage to say, you're pretty much in a safe space. We want to hear what's reality, what's the truth, what do you really know that you're not telling us? And they end up telling us, which is really good. This year is going to be a little different in that regard. For instance, my presentation is going to be just interactive. I don't know if I'm going to develop one slide. If I do, it might just be the face of the topic. But we're going to create an opportunity for the employees to really dive in deep to things that can affect them, that can hurt their coworkers. And we're going to have action items assigned. So when an employee is asked a serious question about safety and they raise up their hand and they give us an answer, we're going to ask the audience who is going to take responsibility and accountability to actually drive this through fruition. In other words, they're going to present to us an issue. We're going to give them a solution. And we're going to not only give them a solution, but we're going to have a timeline to where that's going to be completed. And so we're looking for engagement on both sides of the spectrum, from the field employee to the manager here in the office that can actually make sure that their voice is heard, action is taken, and then change takes place.
I love that. And I think, Troy, you mentioned, getting to interact with the employees that, we don't get to see them all the time. They're out at the job site, they're at the customer location. And so it's really, I think, a special thing to have them come interact and, really get to know coworkers, because they are our coworkers. We just don't see them every day.
Yeah, and it's sometimes you see them, but then it's a long period of time before you get to see them again. So it's good to see familiar faces and see how they're doing, how things are going at the work site, how's their families, kids growing up, and that's what it's all about. So it's always a good time when you get to see those folks again. Absolutely.
So we have, as we mentioned, our employees come. Who else comes to this event?
So we have plenty of vendors that we invite to these events. Sam, you do a great job in helping us in that regard. And so we have, a huge lobby full of different vendors, business partners. We have a company coming in this year called Issac, who is a vision company. They do vision tests. So that's another play on our whole purpose in this safety focus of focusing in. So they'll be doing that. Every year we have new guests that'll come in. But we have, equipment suppliers. We have training suppliers. We have different people coming in to do great things. So our employees can ask questions. They could go around to the booths. But we also have plenty of our internal, providers, HR, IT. We have different divisions that'll be available so that if anyone has any questions, they can go and ask directly. Hey, my training is a little wonkers, so they can go and talk to a training person and try to figure out what's going on, or IT solution. So we have our whole team out in front so that our employees have a great opportunity to be engaged. And like you said, often they might talk to someone on the phone, but they never see them, so they get to meet the employees face to face, and I think that brings a lot of value.
Yeah, and our customers will be there as well, and it's kind of funny because they've been before, and they start asking, hey, when's safety focus? Because they get excited around it. So it's information that they can take back and share as well, and it just continues to drive our purpose and values.
Yeah, and one of the compliments is that our customers not only really engage in the day, but they try to mirror what we do. And often they'll ask us to participate in their focus forums. And so we try to bring our energy to them, and we open up the doors for all of them to come, and we have great attendance from our customers. We've had keynote speakers from some of our customers that came in before, and we'll do that in the future. We won't have any this time, but they'll be there, and they'll be able to participate at the tables with our employees. So we don't segregate everyone. We ask everybody to get involved. As a matter of fact, you'll probably very seldomly see a couple of staff people sitting at the same table. We get injected into our audience so that everybody can participate at an even level.
Great. What are you most excited about?
Cubix pies.
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
I enjoy the safety focus so much. I like the engagement. I like the opportunity to ask questions and to get some real answers. I have to say the foundation is a real big part that I enjoy. When the foundation speaks about what we do out in the community,
the Danos Foundation.
The Danos Foundation, yeah, really, fulfilling our purpose. So I believe our purpose is fulfilled in the Safety Focus Forum. Honoring God, which starts off the whole thing. We have prayer breakfast this year at 7 o'clock with Paul Danos. He'll be doing a devotional. Developing great people is what the safety focus is all about, solving the challenges for our customers and our communities. So all of that has place in the Safety Focus Forum. And it's not even like we strategically try to make sure that it's injected in there. It's part of who we are and what we do. And this is just one of the best forums I think we have to be able to showcase truly who we are. It's never fake, it's never false or phony. It's the Danos way.
I think the activities that we do every year gets people excited. It's fun to look around the room and see people engaged in teams and trying to compete, right? And then you see Mr. Hank getting involved and guys running around the room trying to figure out how to make things work. That's always an exciting time as well. And I look forward to that because it's a good time to see them engaged and they're having fun. And that's truly what it's about.
Oh, yeah. And look, the food doesn't hurt either. True. The food has been spot on. 360 Catering does a fantastic job.
Breakfast and lunch provided?
Breakfast and lunch provided, and it's it's just a great menu with different options. Of course, a lot of seafood as well. So our employees really enjoy that. We get feedback, and so yeah, that's good. And usually there's some sort of a dessert to follow. So.
And the music's always good too, right?
Yeah. Casey does a fantastic job of really hyping up the Safety Focus Forums and getting music. And look, it takes a lot of people to put on an event like this. You guys very involved. Marketing does a fantastic job of really showcasing who we are and what we do. There's so many people that touch. If we talked about just those people, it would take us the whole podcast. And then, of course, we have the breakout sessions after. In the breakout sessions, the second part of the Safety Focus Forum is led by our different divisions. PES has a separate breakout session. Production Services has their own breakout session. And we have I2MS that separates themselves, and Energy Systems separates themselves. And then they get into the nitty-gritty, and they really get personal within their work groups. And that's another really big part of the Focus Forum.
So if someone is considering whether or not they should attend, what would you tell them?
Attend.
Easy enough.
Easy enough. No, it's a really good time, and it's a chance again to meet up with your coworkers and leadership alike, and just spend the day with them. And it's not often you get that opportunity. We see each other a lot in passing or at crew changes, or it's a client meeting. It's always something. This is dedicated to us, right, and to our team. So hopefully they come if they have the opportunity. We understand a lot of folks are out working. Both are very busy at the moment. If they're available and they can make it, it's a great time, and they won't be disappointed.
Yeah, there's competing obstacles. They have their workloads, they have their families. We do pay them, to come to the Safety Focus. So they are incentivized to be there, but there's nothing better than being able to go walk to Mr. Hank Danos and shake his hand and say, you know what, I met the owner, today, or Paul or Mark or Eric, guys that they don't get to see too often. And I want to just say that they love that too. The Danoses just love being engaging, and this is a really big thing for them. So just know it's not just something that we put on. This is something that people really are passionate about, and it starts all the way at the top.
Is there a message that you hope people walk away with from the day? Or is it just a couple different nuggets, as you said?
Yeah, in reality, given one little shift in safety, you're looking at the difference of an injury or a fatality. I believe the oil and gas industry is a very safe culture. I really believe that we have great safeguards in place to protect our people, but anything can happen, and we need to continue to educate each other. We need to continue to train, and we need to continue to talk about safety. But we also need the reality checks just to say, at any given moment, something really bad can happen. If I let off the gas, my coworker could not be the same after. So there's a seriousness to our Safety Focus Forum, and that's why we're really focusing in on the SIFs, the things that can really cause damage. And you know what, as a company, we have done fantastic. Collectively together, PES and Danos Operation Services We've had the best TRIR the company has ever had in the history of the company. We're at a 0.07.
Congratulations, that's amazing.
It is amazing.
It is.
And the industry is over 1.0, if you think about that. Our best record was a 0.11, and it's been hard to attain that. And we have 2 finger recordables in 2025 that caused that TRIR, but we haven't had the major incidents. But that doesn't mean that the risk is not out there, and we need to do everything we can. This is just one of the steps to give an opportunity to hear from our guys again, so that we can learn what's reality, so that we can help them get in the bucket with them, so that we can passionately pursue these things that can cause a lot of damage.
That's right. The hazards that cause a minor finger injury are very different from things that cause life-threatening or fatal events, right? So the focus on how can we better identify those high-level hazards and make sure we have adequate controls in place before they go to work is critical. Those conversations that we have with the guys and the feedback that we get helps us to develop more gainful conversation with the employees in our weekly meetings and client meetings and what can we deliver at the job site. So, you hope from any type of safety conference or meeting that they take something away from it. If they don't, then did we really do a good job, right? The goal here is that we prep enough and we get it together enough to where those guys can actually take something valuable away and bring it back to the work site, because that's where it really makes a difference. And talking about these SIF style hazards and making sure that we have good controls and how do we identify deviations is really critical in our industry. As Isaac said, when you look at our TRIRs and how we've performed statistically over the last year, it's incredible that we were able to do that. And it's not without those folks that are on the job site. Giving them the fuel that they need to continue to be successful is a part of why we do what we do. So it's exciting there.
Great. Any final thoughts?
I think what's most important is the message gets out that we need our employees here. If our employees are not here, then we can't hear them. And so we need them here. It's critical that they attend. And I hope that they see the value in not attending, but participating. And if they can come and participate, then they can bring change. We want to hear from our people so that we can collectively discuss, talk, plan, and provide change. We want to listen. We want to be a company that's always learning. And the best way to learn is if we listen. And the best way to listen is if our employees are here. So those that are competing with different things, we understand it's a challenge. But if our employees can be here, we need them here. And I'm hoping that our staff does a really good job at communicating that out. I know we started that, but at the end of the day, the biggest value is going to be getting people here so that we can listen to them.
Continue improvement, right? That's the ultimate goal, that we continue to learn and get better every day. And their engagement only helps us to get better. So having them present, having them engaged, having them giving us feedback and have those conversations really helps drive how we can work that continual improvement into our overall programs and make sure that we're giving them the tools to be successful at the work site.
Well, thank you both for joining us today. I know a lot of work goes into the Safety Focus events, but I think it's well worth it. It's really engaging, enjoyable, fun day, and I think the results speak for themselves with the record low TRIR. And also, I think the Safety Focus events really just leads into the Danos purpose to honor God and develop great people to solve big challenges for our customers and our communities. So we hope you can join us. Thanks again, guys.
That's it for this episode of Producing Confidence. To learn more about the Danos family of companies, be sure to follow us on social media. Remember, stay safe, stay connected, and keep producing confidence.